Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon and The Blackest Heart, both books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today, special review today, we're going to be going back in time, literally and figuratively back in time, to when I was a kid, reading Dragonlance novels, and also the characters are going back in time and forward in time in the book. We're going to be reading book number 2. This is a review of book number 2 in the Dragonlance Legends Chronicles, The War of the Twins by Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman. First of all, this came out in 1986. Perhaps you saw my reviews of Dragons of Autumn Twilight, Dragons of Winter Night, Dragons of Spring Dawning. We've got them all right here. We always talk about the covers first, so we've got the red cover, the blue cover, the green cover. Wonderful Larry Elmore paintings. With this next trilogy, we got the bronze cover, the silver cover, and the gold cover. So, still following a great theme, and we've also got great Larry Elmore cover artwork on all of them. So let's take a little bit of a detailed look at the cover art on this one in particular. Here we have a great painting of Caramon and Chrysania, two of our main three characters, well, four main characters if you count Tasselhoff Burfoot. We've got the Dragonlance logo, just the great logo on top. We've got the silver border, which I love because it matches the bronze and gold borders and the red and green and blue borders. Then we've got this wonderful scroll work on the back. Again, the Dragonlance logo and a description of the book and all that. And you know, when I get books signed, because I have met Tracy Hickman numerous times, I've never met Margaret Weis. But living in Utah and doing a lot of the conventions in Utah, I probably met Tracy Hickman like a dozen times. And he has, of course, signed my book. This book was signed actually in 1986 when I was just a kid. I met him when I was just a kid and had him sign my books originally. And I've had him sign different pages. Plus, I've also had Larry Elmore sign all of them for me, too. Enough about that. Let's talk about this book. These are, there was a point in time, I swear to God to you people, when I was a kid, that I thought Dragonlance was the end-all, be-all of literature. I mean, I had read a lot of stuff. Even at that point, I had read Eddings, Feist, Terry Brooks, Stephen Donaldson, The Thieves' World, Lloyd Alexander, Tolkien, probably a half a dozen other authors, and by God, this was my favorite series. I absolutely loved it. For a period of time, the Dragonlance was it. I loved, and it was for the characters. It was for the characters. You know, Tanis and Sturm, Flint Fireforge, Tasselhoff, Corman, Raceland, all of the, Lorena, Kitiara. Oh my God, I could go on and on. They're like friends to me. They're old friends to me. I don't even, a lot of times, I could just review these. I do reread these, but I could probably review them from memory. I've read them so much and so often. Now, these are the original copies that I bought as a kid. And as you notice, they're still in pristine condition because I keep all my books in good condition. I've done videos on how you can keep your books in good condition, but we won't get into that. If you want to see those videos, you can just type in my name, Durfee, and how to keep your books in good condition. The video will magically appear upon your screen. This series is about time travel. I'll let you watch my reviews of these because this is the first trilogy. You can watch my reviews of those to see what the books are about. And now we've got this second trilogy, which is about time travel. And three of our main characters from this trilogy travel back in time, 300 years in book 1. Now in this book, they've kind of traveled forward into time, like 100 years after, and 100 years into the future. And they get to see how the future is, and so it's just like an interplay of a lot of things. And above all, it's sort of love stories. Of all these adventure novels, fantasy adventure novels, they read like a role-playing, like you're reading a Dungeons and Dragons adventure that someone's written down. But this one is kind of the love story of the group. And that's probably why it sticks out as one of my favorites, because we've got Raceland, the evil magician, absolute evil. Everything he does is evil, even though he thinks he's doing it for good, which makes his character way more complex. And he's just a bad dude all around, a selfish dude all around in a lot of ways. But you sense there's a heart of gold somewhere inside of him. And then we've got Chrysania, the cleric, the absolute good. She just believes in absolute good, the good in humans, and she wants to save Raceland from himself, from the evil. And this is the old cliche of the divine beauty who wants to rescue the bad boy. You know what I mean? We see it play out in our own lives all the time with relatives and friends, where there's a nice girl and a bad boy, and she's just addicted to the bad boy, and she can't get rid of no matter what sort of abuse and terrible things he heaps upon her, she's still going to save that guy. And it's kind of the abusive relationship we see with Chrysania and Raceland, but at the same time, we're almost kind of rooting for both of them to overcome. And then on top of that, we've got Raceland's good-hearted brother, Caramon, who's suffering from his own traumatic PTSD. And the PTSD that Caramon is suffering from is all the adventures he's been through up to this point, including fighting in a gladiator arena in book 1 of this. And then, not only just PTSD from that, but just PTSD, and he's just plumb worn out from dealing with his brother and trying to keep his brother alive and keep Chrysania alive and try to save Chrysania from herself and from Raceland, but at the same time trying to save them both and himself and the entire world of Crine. The place is called Crine. I think it's Kryn. I don't know what the name of the world is, but he's trying to save everything from another cataclysm. And then we've got Tasselhoff Barefoot, who is our comic relief, little Kender, little hobbit guy, and he's sort of tagging along for the ride. Delightful character. Everybody loves Tasselhoff. You can't. It's just, the adventure is hard to describe just because we're dealing with a lot of time travels back and forth, and a lot of the things that the time travel, you know how time travel books can get sticky, and so you got to suspend you got to kind of, like, it's loosey-goosey time travel. There's no rules kind of thingy. But you got to just understand that going in, because these are just fun adventure novels. We're not reinventing the wheel here. We're not trying to write Pulitzer Prize-winning literature. These are fun, absolutely delightful adventures that I loved as a youngster and I can still enjoy and appreciate today. So I am going to give War of the Twins, book number 2, in the Dragonlance Legends, the second trilogy that Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman wrote in this world. I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. I just thought it was interesting reread, to say the least.